was 8 years old.
That's Tim McGraw on WYRK. Don't Take the Girl, 748. Kiddabaloo is going on this weekend. It's Saturday. There are 2 sessions for your kids to enjoy. Good idea to buy tickets for both. Mm-hmm. It's happening at the County Fairgrounds in Hamburg, and at the show this weekend, Billy Dawson will be there. He is a singer. He's also an artist and what's the word I'm looking for? Author as well. Yes, a kid's author, and he's going to be there for 2 sessions as well coming up at the Erie County Fairgrounds this weekend. Billy Dawson joins the Breakfast Club. Kind of tell us exactly what you've got planned this weekend.
I go around speaking to schools. I mean, I open up for bands like Lee Brice and opening up for Darius Rucker here in the next few weeks, and laying in a bands like, I'm a country artist, but I also I think we need to pour back into our kids, you know, and impact them and not impress them. You know, there's a big, huge difference in that. And so, anyway, what I do is I find schools to speak at in between my shows and all that. But you know, words are a big thing, and that's why I teach kids. So my grandmother always told me to write stuff down. So I went home and I wrote down this story, and I was just thinking about all the things I did in my life that I bullied people or been bullied. And so I kind of turned it into a book that kids would understand. That story's not necessarily in there, but it empowers little kids to be the change in the world. And there's actually a story about little Emma. She's a real rich girl who makes fun of this real poor girl whose clothes are, you know, ripped and terrible and everything. Anyway, she ends up becoming good friends with her, giving her some of her clothes and teaching her dad a really important lesson about not bullying as an adult.
You know, it's a tough topic to talk about, but what's the impression that you get on how the kids take your message?
Man, you know, to hear them respond, you know, I do a question and answer at the end of the book, at the end of my speeches and stuff like that, and literally, like, there's a little bitty kids responding to, you know, some of them will go, I'll say, what would you do in this situation? And they're like, well, I would do this, you know, and I would too. I would give her some of my clothes. I mean, little bitty, you know, 7 and 8 year olds are saying, I would give her some of my clothes. And there's other ones that lift their hands up and go, well, my cat just died yesterday. And I'm like, I'm sorry to hear that, buddy. I'm thinking about you, but, you know. But there's also a story, Rochelle Katz. I went out on the road with Lee Brice. I don't know if y'all know Lee Brice.
We've heard of him. Yeah.
Okay. I went out with Lee, and his mom, or his tour manager, bought the very, very first copy of my book for his mom and sent it to her in Florida. She's a teacher there, and she read it to her kids, and you could hear a pin drop when she was reading it, and she said, normally when I read these books, you know, they're all running around, and they're second graders. And she said there was a pin, you could hear a pin drop. And anyway, the next day, this kid raised his hand to answer a question, and he got it wrong. I remember doing that, raising my hand, thinking I have an answer, and I'm completely wrong as a kid, and being laughed at. So the whole class starts laughing at him. And this little kid stands up out of his chair in the back of the room, and he says, you never know. You never know. You know, and I was just like, I started bawling when she told me the story. She called me. I don't cry very often, but, like, I just hit me like a ton of bricks that little second graders are, like, starting to stand up for being, you know, going against bullying and stuff. And if I can make a dent on it, I know I won't stop it, but if I can make a dent on it, talking to teachers and kids, I mean, I feel like I'm doing my purpose.
It's Billy Dawson on the Breakfast Club. You can see him this weekend at Kiddabaloo. If you want to get your tickets, you can buy them in advance. And the book will be available, too. It's called You Never Know.
Basically, he was inspired by an incident that he was involved in where he bullied a restaurant drive-thru worker, and he felt bad about it.
Yeah, it's not just about kids either, is it? You can check them out this weekend. All kinds of activities for the young ones, too. It's Kiddabaloo with WYRK.
It's the